Hello everyone, welcome to recent invitation round update and trends. In this webinar, we're going to have a big deep dive into the latest invitation round, the market trends, migration benchmarks, and key priorities occupation. So in this webinar, I'm basically going to discuss about the previous invitation rounds, what happened in the previous uh, financial year 2026 during the invitation, either from the state allocation or from the federal allocation. So we're going to discuss one by one and also predict the prediction for coming financial year 2026-2027. Uh, Myself, Harmeet Sani, is CCA registered migration agent, and I'm going to deliver this webinar on latest migration trend. So let's begin. Let me upload some slides for you first. Alrighty. So before going to begin, I'm going to discuss a little bit of a recent, the main visa subclasses under skill migration pathway for Australia. The first visa subclass, which is subclass 189, which is a skill independent visa, is a direct permanent residency to Australia and basically based upon the federal points ranking baseline benchmark system. The second category is visa subclass 190. This is the state nominated visa, and it also a direct permanent residency to Australia, but depends upon the state nomination rules, local residency threshold, and state demand criteria as well. Subclass 491, which is skilled work regional provisional visa, is granted for 5 years. It's a temporary visa, but leading to permanent residency when you're holding this visa for at least 3 years. As the name suggests, it is a regional allocation standard and regional employment filters benchmark applied to this visa subclass category. And another important visa subclasses are subclass 482 and 186, which are purely employer-sponsored visas. There is no requirement of state nomination or any federal allocation applied to these visa subclasses. This is purely based upon the employer sponsorship, and particular quota is allocated for this subclass under federal government seat allocations, and which is going to increase in next financial year as well. I'm going to discuss these things as well in the coming slides. And there are two visa subclasses included in it. One is visa subclass 482, which is a temporary visa, can be granted up to 4 years, and another one is visa subclass 186, which is a permanent visa. So let's talk about the state nomination core rules, how the state nominates the applicants. So every administrative jurisdiction operate under rigid annual ceiling that is designed to directly by the federal authorities. So first of all, you need to lodge expression of interest, which is also called EOI in short form, via the skills select prior to seek state nomination. And regional localization, so state aggressively prioritize onshore prospects who already living, working, and studying in locally in the high priority zones in a particular state. So each state have their own set of rules, regulation, and priority lists. So in next financial year 2026-2027, the federal planning level, which include 185,000 strategic allocation, which is continue from the previous financial year as well. So same allocation is distributed to next financial year, but there is a slightly change in the number of seats allocated to various subclasses to various states as well. So the Australian government has firmly anchored permanent pathway with high emphasis on the economic skill migration framework to each industrial structure transition. So the skill stream claims approximately 71% of all visa places. So ensuring long-term integration support for vital industrial clusters. So this basically same as the previous financial year. Previous financial year also allocated 185,000 seats, but this financial year they distribute uh, across the various visa subclasses. For example, you can see from the graph. So if you see about employer sponsored category, so the next financial year they increase this seat limit up to 58,040 compared to quite higher than the previous financial year. So maximum priority is they're going to give them these employer sponsored visa, which are subclass 482 186. The second category is subclass state nomination, subclass 190. They also increase the seat allocation for this visa subclass, which is going up to 35,500 in next financial year. And there is also increase in seat for subclass 189 as well. That's increased to 21,090. However, not a big news for 491 visa applicants, because 491 regional seats are reduced to 14,110 in next financial year. So better to seek, try to increase your points, or better to seek 190 or 189 option if you are eligible and having points 80 or 80 plus. Then 189 and 190 would be the better option. Because the seat allocation for subclass 491 is quite going to be lower in the next financial year. So if we analyze the previous invitation round, let's talk about the federal invitation round for 189 recently, which held on 4th of June this month in 2026. So in this invitation round, the government basically target health sector, trade, infrastructure, and early childhood teaching sector. So these are the main applicant, the priority sectors who got invitation in the last invitation round for 189. Our advice is as the point competition remains high in the next financial year as well. So applicant must verify and validate precise detail of their credentials, especially your EOI I'm talking about and ROI, to prevent visa refusal risk during the audit check. So whatever you entered in your EOI and ROI, so definitely department double check all those information when they grant you the visa, so to avoid visa refusals or any other situation. So it's better to be prepared in advance. Let us talk about the various state, what happened across the state nominations. So if we talk about the New South Wales for the last financial year, so NSW rapidly consumed all allocation, so resulting in early closure of regional pathway 1 and pathway 3 as well. So sphere point bottleneck almost 95 plus remains standard for professional and journal ICT occupations. So strict structure alignment with the New South Wales priority skill list, which means that invitation round directly filter out low securing application outside of healthcare or constructions. So it means even if you are higher points, but still the occupation in health sector and in construction sector, especially the trade person, they continues to receive invitation on the lower point scale as well compared to another professional occupations in New South Wales. If we talk about Victoria, so Victoria selection engine prioritize candidate salary rather than a raw points alone. So onshore Melbourne applicants earning or 95 plus salary, they consistently bypass high priority competitors. For example, if somebody have lower points, sitting at 80 points but getting salary 95k plus, and there are chances of getting invitation are much higher if someone is sitting on 100 points but having the lower salary. For regional employment structure, they are processed rapidly, very quickly, even under 4 months, 4 weeks, sorry. And especially within the regional industry hub, like if you are working in Geelong, Ballarat, Bendigo, or other regional suburbs of Victoria. So it means the conclusion is, if you are living and working in Victoria and getting higher salary, or living in regional area, then you will get the more priority to seek the invitation from the Victoria state. On the other hand, South Australia and Queensland. In South Australia remains a prime pathway for offshore candidate in medical, health and civil engineering specialization. So with this tragic push of IT applicants towards regional provisional subclass options, so it looks like to be continue in next financial year as well. So for if you are IT professional, better to seek subclass 491 option. Otherwise, if you are from the health sector, or if you are sitting overseas in this sector, you're working in civil trade or health sector, so there are better option to seek migration to South Australia or through South Australia nomination scheme. Similarly, Queensland. So Queensland continue to reward local businesses owner as well as trade workers. So setting distinct local turnover to operational timeline to bypass journal high point competition. So if you are running a local business, having a skill, or you're working in the trade sector, in that case, so Queensland is also a good option for you. In Western Australia, utilize is Schedule 1 and Schedule 2 list to prioritize trade person, offering they offering fee waivers as well, and rapid invitation turnaround for structural construction roles as well. And Tasmania, so Tasmania rewards physical onshore commitments via its gold and green pass metrics, reducing the direct reliance on high theoretical points on the skill select system. So they have their own priority system based upon their gold pass, green pass, or even orange pass as well. So they have their own structure to nominate the skilled workers in Tasmania. And Canberra also having their own metric system. So generally in the last financial year, they prioritize cyber security for specialist, public infrastructure policymakers, and also high salary integration. They also considered in their Canberra metric system. So overall, if we see that in recent financial year or in the coming financial year, almost all major Australian state in 2026, the quality of local employment measured by salary, consistency of hours, and direct and JESCO relevance means if your occupation directly resemble with the JESCO code and you're working on the same occupation, then you will get the higher priority compared to if you're working in some matching occupation like first 3 or 4 JESCO letters are matching with your occupation compared to the exact JESCO occupation. If you are working on, you will get the more priority. And all these factors, the salary, working hours, and your direct nominated occupation, they outweighing the high pure migration point scores. So you will get higher priority even those who are sitting on higher points. And this trend going to be continue in the next financial year as well. So if we talk about onshore and offshore allocation, so in the coming financial year, government going to give more priority to approximately 80% to onshore applicants and only 20% to offshore. So this structural objective of reducing immediate external housing pressure, forcing state nomination criteria to focus heavily on local graduates and working professionals who are already onshore. So offshore invitation strictly confined to healthcare, medical specialist, civil construction trade sector, and mainly Western Australia and South Australia would be the better state if you seeking Australian migration from offshore. And CSOL and TASMIS indexation. So the core skill occupation list acts as a mandatory structured filter. It is a primary filter, so your occupation must be on this occupation list. And for employer sponsored categories, the TASMIT is going to increase from 1st of July 2026. So previously it was 76,515 baseline. So indexation take effect from 1st of July 2026, lifting the minimum salary floor up to 79,499 for temporary and sponsored employer visas pathway. And if we talk about the main core priority sector in the next financial year, so across majority of the state and territory of Australia, so healthcare professional, social worker, aged and disability support worker, they will get continuous the priority for skill visa nomination. So registered nurses, GP, medical technician continue to receive direct near immediate federal subclass processing priorities. And social worker also they bypass standard point constraint due to profound domestic structure demand. And age and disability support worker, they will also have the pathway through the employer sponsored visas if you're working in this sector and having enough experience in your occupation. So employer sponsored visas are the best option for you under age and disability support scheme. However, early childhood educator, the teachers, construction workers, and tradies, of course, they will continue to have in the priority list. So early childhood and secondary teachers secure invitation at baseline point floor across all the state. Construction project manager and quantity surveyor remains highly prioritized to combat the national housing shortage. And of course the trade worker, electrician, carpenter, plumbers, bricklayers are fast tracked by via TRA modernized skill assessment pathway to accelerate housing output as well. So all these occupations will remain in the priority sector in the next financial year. So if you are in the queue and seeking a nomination either for subclass 189 or subclass 190 or 491, so our advice is to audit and align your EOI profile. So validate all employment residency point to ensure strict compliance with targeted state migration rule, especially these residency points they claim through your ROI, and all employments, everything have to be updated on your EOI as well. And another target sector is the superior English. So if you can increase point for your English, it is always better to secure the invitation. and applicant having superior uh, and proficient English, they will have more priority compared to the other applicants. Even securing a superior English benchmark provide extra 20 points, often key to gaining priority invitation. If you still waiting for the invitation and not getting invitation on time, your visa expiring, in that case employer sponsored visa would be the best option for you if you have enough experience, at least 1 year. So better to seek 482 option. If you have more experience in your occupation, at least 3 years, so better to go directly on subclass 186 visa option. So if you have employer and he willing to sponsor you, you can talk to us. We will review the assessment criteria for your employer and for your visa application as well, and can guide you accordingly. So if you have any question, you're curious about your point system, or you want to lodge your EOI, ROIs, or if you in the plan of employer sponsored visas, so please do contact our nearest CC office. Our offices are located in every major city of Australia, or even you can directly contact us. Our number are already displayed on the screen. So this is all about the recent invitation trends and future predictions. So if you have any question, please do contact us. So I am going to close this session today. So please do contact if you have any, if you are still seeking any information, or you can book consultation if you have a long inquiry, or if you have a complex situation to discuss with the migration agent. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.